If you've been wanting to stay in the Orlando area, but you don't want to break the bank, this property might be the right fit for you. Today, we're going to be touring a property with 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, almost 1,700 square feet of living space, and sitting on a 1/4-acre corner lot here in one of Orlando's top suburbs. Let's get into it. Welcome back, guys, to another episode. Welcome back. My name is Ramses Missile. For those of you that are new into this channel, you can call me Ram. And the main purpose of this channel is to bring you guys the best opportunities, the most beautiful properties in the beautiful Sunshine State. So whether you're looking to buy your first home, whether you're looking to maybe relocate from somewhere within the Sunshine State or from out of state and come and enjoy the beauty of this state, be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss any of the opportunities I bring for you every single week. Now let's get into the video. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into what this location of this property is going to be. As you guys heard in the beginning, of course, it's going to be a corner lot with a 1/4 acre, but let's talk about where this property is located. If you're not familiar with the Orlando suburbs, this property is going to be located in Altamonte Springs, which is one of Orlando's top suburbs, along with Winter Park and Winter Garden, maybe Windermere and Dr. Phillips as well. Now, what's in Altamonte Springs? Close by to this house, you're going to have, of course, all your shopping. You're going to have top-rated schools as well. And most importantly, right next to this house, I want to say maybe 1 to 2 minutes away, you're going to have the Sunrail, which for those of you not familiar with the Orlando metro area, the Sunrail is actually going to be connecting you to Winter Park, to Dr. Phillips, to Windermere, to Claremont, and it's really going to connect you to different suburbs of Orlando. So if you feel like maybe taking a day trip, if you feel like you don't want to use your car that day, you can go and hop on the Sunrail and it will take you to a lot of really cute places so that you can enjoy the scenery, maybe have a couple of drinks and not have to worry about driving whatsoever. Okay, now on a more grander scale, keeping it of course in the Orlando metro area, we're going to be about 20 minutes away from downtown Orlando. We're going to be about 45 to 40 minutes away from all the major theme parks except Universal and the new Epic Park, which is going to be a little bit closer than that. And if you're looking to commute or to go and enjoy the remaining part of the state, you're going to be about 1 hour to 1 hour and 20 away from Tampa and all its beautiful beaches. You're going to be about 2 hours away from Sarasota and Siesta Key. And if you're looking to travel and commute to the other coast, you're going to be about 1 hour away from Cocoa Beach and all the beaches in the East Coast. If you want to go to Miami, let's say you like the Miami lifestyle, but you don't want to be living in it, we're going to be just about 3.5 hours from Miami, Florida, and we're going to be about 1 hour from the horse capital of the world, Ocala, Florida. Now, I know a lot of people always talk to me about the airport. For some reason, people want to be closer to the airport. I get it if you work at the airport or if you travel a lot, but from the airport, we're going to be about 35 minutes away, which is not too bad. Very quick commute. And we're going to be from this house about 1 minute from I-4, so you have really good connection to all of Orlando without having to pay much in tolls. Okay, now with that being said, let's go into what this beautiful home is going to be itself, and let's start with the exterior. Okay, let's go. Now let's start this tour with the exterior part of the property. Of course, this is going to be a very short driveway. Maybe you can fit about a couple cars here, maybe 4 if you don't have big cars. Something important to mention, of course, we're going to have a full block construction on the exterior of the house so that you can have some peace of mind and not worry about termites or anything like that. Now, talking a little bit more about the aesthetic of the house itself, we're going to have, of course, the stone veneer on the corners of the house, which makes it look very nice. And we're going to have a really nice pastel color with really good combinations. And something I really like is you have a very nice front door with the glass finish and a couple recessed lights on the exterior of the property that make it look really, really nice at night. Okay, now nothing really much to see. We're going to have, of course, this little area right here where you can put your garden. You know, once you get in here, you can take all these stones out and put a little garden for yourself. No HOA, no CDD in this area. Okay, very important to mention. We're going to be, of course, in public water and public sewer for those of you who prefer public water and public sewer for the convenience. And of course, with that being said, let's go and tour the beautiful inside of this property. Come on. Okay, now getting into the property, of course, you're going to feel a little bit more quietness. Something that, you know, might be a pro and a con about this property is we're going to be right next to a busy road. So even though it's a corner lot, you're going to be able to hear the cars a little bit. But once you're inside, you're really not able to hear anything. Now, talking about the interior itself, we're going to have this beautiful porcelain tile all throughout the house. So no carpet whatsoever, very South Florida style. And we're going to have, of course, our designated areas. The first area that we're going to talk about is going to be our living room area, or where our TV would go. Of course, the builder did this very nice finish with this entertainment center and this very nice electric fireplace. Now, of course, before we go to this side, something like I was mentioning before, we're going to have a very nice style door so that we can bring some more added light in the morning times. And going towards this side, we're going to have another window. Like I said, bring in that natural light during those morning times. And of course, this is the area where you're going to put your couch, where you're going to put your area rug, and where you're going to put your coffee table, okay, for those lazy Sunday days. We're also, of course, going to have a little built-in fan, ceiling fan right here. Really cool to already have that. Some builders just put a recessed light. Okay, open floor plan, as you guys will be able to see in the video. Everything is really separated to its own little sections, which I like, except the really dining room. Of course, the dining room, you're going to feel like it's a little bit in the middle of everything, which sometimes you're going to be able to feel that in some of these modern homes, but it's going to be fairly spacious nonetheless, and it's going to be comfortable once you put it in here. Of course, this dining area is going to have this very nice light fixture. You're going to see those gold finishes. I think this is the first one you see, but you're going to see them throughout the house. It's for some love it, some hate it. Me personally, I think it looks pretty nice. I think they did a pretty nice job with the finishes here. Okay, now let's go a little bit more into what it's going to be the kitchen. First thing we're going to see is going to be our island. This is about a 6 to 7 foot island. Not huge, but not very small. We're going to have this waterfall design, of course, on both sides, and we're going to have this design on the bottom that gives it some very nice modern look. Okay, now going a little bit deeper, we're going to have our first door, which is going to be our pantry space. Pretty spacious, nothing huge, nothing too small, but you know, you do have a lot of cabinetry nonetheless. Before I forget, very important, we're going to have quartz countertops in the kitchen. This very stylish quartz countertop with more of like that pastel color. Okay, and we're going to have quartz countertops as well in the bathrooms, and by pastel colors I mean the accents themselves. Okay, now going into the kitchen itself, tile backsplash all over, which I really like, and most importantly, you're going to have a lot of electric outlets, which is very important in a kitchen. Most importantly is going to be the storage. Lots of storage throughout this kitchen. Okay, very big cabinets, and all of them are going to be soft close, which is fairly cool. Always important to have soft close cabinetry. Of course, some appliances are going to be included. For those of you who might not know, in order to close, okay, so that the county approves a new build for a home, you have to have a stove, okay, an oven, and you have to have an exhaust, whether it's a microwave or this little hood that you see right here. Okay, and you also you don't have to have a fridge, but you do have to have, like I said, a stovetop, an oven, the hood, and the dishwasher, so that the county can give you what's called a certificate of occupancy. Anyways, I don't want to bore you guys with the details. If you guys want to know more about those, you can always give me a call or send me an email. Very nice fridge included. I really never like when the refrigerators don't have this water and ice dispenser, so I think it's fairly cool to have this. Of course, brand new refrigerator, all brand new appliances. We're going to see a little bit more of those brass finishes right here, as you guys can see. Something I really don't prefer, but some people love it, especially my Latinos. They love to have the double sink, like the sink with the separation, because maybe, you know, if they have some dirty dishes right here, they can just put the clean ones right here and keep some other dirty ones right here. Whereas when you have the farm style one, you only have one and everything kind of like mixes up. Me personally, I prefer the open one. Okay, now super cool kitchen. Nothing much to see. It's not huge, but you do have a lot of cabinetry, which I really like. Now we're going to go on to what the guest bedrooms are going to be, but before we get into those guest bedrooms, we're gonna make a quick pit stop at the first bathroom, which is going to be our half bath. As you guys are going to see, it's going to be the same type of cabinetry, the same gold fixtures style, and the same quartz countertop as well. Okay, very nice gold like fixtures as well, and of course your toilet, so that your visit can do their thing. I always prefer houses to have a half bath or a third full bath, so your visits can really use it, because you never want your visits going into your personal bathrooms and seeing all your mess. What I would say though, that I got that feedback from a client the other day, is when the half bath is right next to the kitchen, it might be some weird smells coming out of there if maybe you're cooking some spicy food and you're right next into the kitchen. So it might be a little comfortable. Okay, but this is going to be, of course, your laundry space. Something I really like that you don't see often is most builders are going to just give you a wire rack. Standard cheap wire rack. This builder right here, they went ahead and put your nice cabinetry with the gold fixtures as well, the gold handles, and even better, soft close even here. Okay, but your washer and dryer would be right here. So super simple laundry space, but very cute nonetheless, and it's always good to have it in a natural room rather than a closet. Now if you come a little bit throughout this laundry room, we're going to have our garage space. Fairly spacious garage to the sides. I will say, we just tried to, when we were doing the drone shots, we tried to fit in a car in here, and it wouldn't really, it fit like very tight, and it was a sedan. So I would say it's not very spacious from the garage door itself onto this wall, okay? But it's cool to always have a garage, of course. 2 recessed lights on the ceilings, and of course, very cool to have our garage door opener. Some builders don't really include the motor anymore. They're trying to save as much as they can. So it's very cool to have this installed already, okay? Of course, we're going to have our electrical panel right here. All of our systems are going to be right here. So if somebody needs to come and work in your home, they don't need to go inside. They can do all of that right in here. AC, electrical panel, and most importantly, we're going to have a tankless water heater. I would recommend you guys to do some research on the tankless water heater. If you get me started on those, I will never stop, and the video is gonna last forever. So do some research about that. It has a lot of good benefits. Better to have it before we leave the garage. Of course, epoxy flooring throughout, which will save you some money when it comes to moving in. A lot of people call me and you know, ask me, hey, do you know somebody that does epoxy? We do have somebody that would recommend clients, and it's usually about $400 to $700 depending on how big the garage is. Okay, now let's go through this hallway out of that little area and start touring our guest bedrooms. Okay, the first one right here, as you guys can see, no carpet whatsoever. One east facing window. This is going to be about a 10 by 11 space. Not huge, but fairly comfortable anyways. It's hard to find something huge in Orlando nowadays, with Orlando already being built out pretty much. Something I like is it's not going to be a full walk-in closet, but maybe let's say you have your kids has a lot of toys and they have some bulky toys. you can really shove them into this closet right here. So it's cool to have a closet that goes a little deeper rather than the regular double built-in closets. Okay, now let's go outside. Before we go, ceiling fan already installed. It's not going to be just a recessed light, which is cool, saves you some money there. And going deeper into the hallway, we're going to find our first full bathroom. Very similar than with what we've been seeing. Of course, big mirror and double sink vanity. I think this is always a plus to have this in a guest bathroom. Of course, we're going to have soft close cabinetry as well over here, and a lot of cabinetry. Let's say maybe you have two kids that are sharing this bathroom. They're going to have a lot of space to divide their stuff. Okay, another gold fixture for your light fixture. And something I really like is going to be this design with this tile. Really, it looks very modern. I know it might not be some of y'all's cup of tea, but it looks really nice in my opinion. We're going to have this little stand, built-in stand right here, which is always cool to have for you to put your shampoos in there, etc. And it's going to go all the way to the ceiling with the backsplash tile. Of course, you're going to also have this little window that has already been frosted. Some people, some builders put a window there and they'll frost them. I think it's kind of crazy. You're showering there and the window's just transparent, but I don't want to get into that rabbit hole. Let's go into the other guest bedrooms. We have two more, this being the second guest bedroom. Of course, it's going to be about the same size as the first one we saw. Of course, a south facing window that looks to your backyard, a built-in closet. In this case, it's a different built-in closet. It's one of those double doors built-in closets, and the ceiling fan. Something cool that I really like, that even though it's just your guest bedroom, you're going to have this TV hookup set up right here with your outlet right here on the top, so you don't have to hide the cables or hire somebody to do this already. So this is saving you around $500 when it comes to those installations. Okay, now let's go right across and we're going to see our third guest bedroom. Okay, this one is going to feel a little bit bigger, but it's going to be about the same size. Of course, no carpet still, a ceiling fan instead of a recessed light, and another south facing window. Very cool that we still have the same design and the same TV hookup situation right here, and of course a built-in closet. Alrighty, now let's go out of this hallway. As you guys can see, this is going to be a split floor plan, so come with me across the home and let's tour what's going to be our master bathroom. And I think you guys aren't ready for this bathroom, so let's go. All right, so coming into this master bedroom, for size references, this might be about a 13 by 11 or by 12 feet in space. Nothing huge, but like I said, in Orlando, it's very tough to get a house this big nowadays, especially for around this price. We're going to have, of course, a double window that faces our back lanai. And of course, we're going to have a ceiling fan already installed. So like I said, just saving you some money so you don't have to do it yourself. Like I said before, we're going to have this little setup in every single bedroom so that you don't have to hire somebody to do this, and so that your cable is not just hanging and it looks a little ugly. Now, let's go through this little space right here and we're going to find our first two closets. These two are going to be walk-in closets, what we call a his and a hers. Okay, very spacious walk-in closets, and you're going to have two of them. Anyways, you have plenty of room right here, so you can always use one of the other bedroom closets. All right, now the part that we've all been waiting for is going to be this amazing master bathroom. Like I said, it's tough finding in Orlando nowadays something like this, especially because nobody really builds them nowadays like this. And the homes that are available here in the market in Orlando are going to be from back in the day, so they really didn't have any of these styles before. Double sink vanity, the same gold fixtures that we've been seeing around. This is actually the same double sink vanity that we had in the guest bathroom, and of course the same light fixtures as well. Something fairly cool that we're going to have right here, if you're one of those that loves relaxing after those long days, is going to be our take-up standalone tub. Very cool. Of course, we're going to have this little fixture right here that makes it look very modern. Really, you don't see this around anymore, so this is one of my favorite finishes. And the backsplash tile with the little mirror right here behind it. A lot of finishes and a lot of touches that you don't really pay attention to, but you know, as a builder, you have to think about all of this, because a lot of people are building simple homes nowadays. Walk-in shower with our glass enclosure, of course, glass door, and fairly spacious. I'm not a huge person, but this is fairly big. Okay, we're also going to have our little shelf right here, like a built-in shelf, and all gold fixtures around as well, with the backsplash tile from floor to ceiling. And before I forget to mention, I don't know how you can use this. You can come up with your own ideas once you come and tour this home, but you have two shower heads, two dedicated shower heads. You have one coming from the ceiling and one coming from the wall. Very cool. I'll leave it up to your imagination. Now, before we go out of the master bathroom, there's a couple more things. Nothing too crazy, nothing too important, but always good to have. Our closet for your towels, for, you know, maybe your bathroom supplies, etc. And of course, the toilet area. Okay, the throne. Now let's head out of our master area or of our primary bathroom and bedroom area, and let's go and check out our beautiful backyard. Okay, come on. All right. Now, these sliding doors, of course, are going to bring us to our backyard. Always very nice to have is this little net right here so that you can leave it open. Maybe sometimes it gets cold in Florida. Florida cold. Please don't get offended if you're from New York or one of those cities, but always good to have so that the mosquitoes don't eat you if you want to leave this open. I would always recommend to put a full enclosure right here. But talking about the lanai itself, this is going to be about a 16 feet long lanai by maybe 6 feet or 5 feet. 2 recessed lights and an exterior built-in ceiling fan, which is pretty cool already to have it built in there. Very cool that the builder already did is our property is going to be fenced in, at least on the sides that connect with your neighbors. So it's important because it saves you some money. As you guys can see in this backyard, you're not going to have really a lot of space on the actual back of the property, but you're going to have some more space to the side itself, but it's still pretty spacious. Maybe if you want to put a pool on that side of the house and you want to put maybe a trampoline or, you know, a little soccer field right here, you can. So you do have some space. Like I said, Orlando is not popular anymore for having big lot sizes, so we have to love what we have and what we're giving with this lot sizes nowadays. Okay, of course, this is going to be where majority of our land is. Like I said, the only thing that's unfortunate is it's facing not a major street, but it's a pretty busy avenue. So, you know, you're going to hear the cars here and there. When you're inside, you don't hear anything. But now that you're out here, you can hear it. Now, right across the street, it's a big hospital that's coming up. It's going to be an Advent Health. So I think it's a good opportunity, you know, getting into these areas that are still growing and a lot of things are going on. I think that there's a lot of pros and cons about having a home like this, of course, like with any home. Okay, now with that being said, let's step inside really quick, talk about the price, talk about what taxes are here in Altamonte Springs. This is actually Seminole County. And talk about what insurance is and give you kind of like some breakdown of some numbers. Okay, let's go ahead, come on. All right guys, let's talk about the numbers for this property. This property is currently going to be priced at $430,000. It has just been on the market for a couple weeks. Prices are always negotiable, I will tell you that. The prices may also change by the time you contact me. The property might also be gone by the time you contact me, so bear in mind all of those things, okay? Now, let's run some quick numbers just to give you guys an idea of what it looks like to purchase a home like this. Maybe you're renting and you are paying a monthly rent and you want to base your finances based on that, okay? So taxes here in Altamonte Springs, in this zip code specifically, is going to be about 1.25%. Okay, so if we multiply 1.25% before any exemptions, of course, times 430,000, that's going to give you a tax rate a year of $5,375. Okay, now if we run some numbers with an FHA loan, which is currently at 5.87% for your interest rate. Of course, the interest rate can always be bought. There's a million ways of doing this, okay? So take all these numbers with a grain of salt. Of course, on a 30-year loan at 5.87%, and we said that our taxes were $5,375, okay, with a home price of $430,000. Of course, when you're an FHA loan, more than likely you're going to put 3.5% minimum. There are some programs out there that will allow you to buy a house with $0 down. They're called down payment assistance programs. But let's just run numbers with this because not everyone qualifies for those, okay? And not every county offers those as well. Include our PMI when you're buying a property with an FHA loan or with a conventional loan under 20% down payment. You have to pay something that's called PMI, which is about a 1%, 1.00 to 3% of the total price of the property. So we're going to include PMI, no HOA in this area, which is pretty good for you guys, for your savings. Of course, we said our taxes were $5,375, so we'll input them right here in this little calculator, and our yearly insurance is estimated to be about $120. Now, running all those numbers, okay, just to give you guys an idea, and take this with a grain of salt. Like I said, we can always run your numbers with a lender to give you a really good idea of what your situation looks like, what's the best way to go about it. But running these numbers, your monthly payment will range from $3,100 to $3,400 every single month. That is including everything: insurance, taxes, and principal and interest. Okay, like I said, there's no HOA or CDD right here. Now, if you want to know what that looks like with a conventional loan, maybe you're looking to purchase your secondary property or you don't qualify for FHA anymore. If you want to know what that looks like with a VA loan, be sure to contact me, give me a call, send me an email, and then we'll walk you through what all those numbers are to make sure this is financially feasible and comfortable for you. Okay, now with that being said, I hope I didn't extend too much. It's been a pleasure. Until the next one. Ciao, ciao.